is our last story for the week, and today my story is David, the giant killer. Goliath was big. He had to stoop to get through the doorways. His head was always bumping up against the ceiling, and his friends thought twice before inviting him to dinner. Goliath had a big spear. It was over 10 feet long, with a big iron point, and his bronze armour weighed over 100 pounds or more. Goliath had a big voice too, and one day he used it. He stamped out to the army of the Philistines, and he shouted across the valleys to the soldiers camped on the other side. "I am Goliath," he bellowed, "and I dare any of you to come out and fight me. Win the fight and we will be your slaves. Lose and you must work for us." David was little, just a boy really, who looked after sheep. When he wanted a break from that, he would take cheese to his brothers who were fighting in the army. And that's what he was doing one day when he heard Goliath shout. David was a little angry. Who does he think he is, thought David. So he took a little walk and he went to the king. "I want to fight Goliath," he announced. The king almost fell off his chair. "But you're so little and he is so big." "A lion is big," said David, "and a bear. But when they came after my sheep, the Lord God helped me face them and fight them off. He will do the same with this giant." "All right," agreed the king, "but at least let me lend you my armour." The armour was big, too big, and so heavy that David could hardly move around. So he gave it back, and he picked up 5 little stones and a sling and his trusty shepherd's staff. Goliath gave a big laugh when he saw the shepherd boy. Ha 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 ha! He took 2 big steps. David ran a little way. 2 more giant steps for Goliath, and David ran a little farther. They were in the middle of the valley now, and everything was quiet. Goliath roared a big roar, sucked in a big deep breath, and raised his big spear. David sneaked his little hand into his pocket and he pulled out a tiny stone and he put it in his sling and he spun it round and round and round and he let it fly. And before the giant could say another word, the stone struck him on the head and he fell with a big thud on the ground. David's side shouted a big hooray, and Goliath whispered a little, uh-oh. From then on, some pretty things happened to the little shepherd boy. He was given a king's reward. He was promised the hand of the king's daughter in marriage, and one day he would become king himself, the very best king God's people ever had. I like today's story because, you know what, David was a little boy and he hadn't got a lot. He got 5 little stones. He hadn't got a big tank. He hadn't got loads of guns. He hadn't got loads of armour and weapons and ammunition. He was just a little boy with 5 smooth stones. But just being a little boy and just giving what he had got, he gave it to God and God used him. And I love the fact that God used him, because we know God uses children, God uses young people, God uses youth as well as oldies. So today, just remember, whatever you have got, what have you got that you think God could use. Now, I'm thinking more about, have you got a nice smile that you can just smile at people and God can use that to make people feel happy? Are you great at drawing pictures or writing letters? And God can use those to encourage other people, especially at this time. You've got loads of time to draw a picture for someone, or to write a letter to someone, or to just give a friendly smile and a wave as someone walks past. Just ask God, God, how can you use me? What have I got? And here's the thing for you to try and do today. If you can find a decent sized stone, perhaps this big, in your garden, how about having a go at doing some stone paintings? You can do a rainbow, you can write thank you, you can paint a heart. Have a go at doing some stone decorating today. Or if you haven't got stones big enough to paint, why don't you make some stone pictures or patterns? Just use little tiny stones and perhaps make a heart shape or do a picture. And as you do these things with stones or that you have today, just think what God did with one stone and one little boy. He changed the course of history. And God can change the course of history using you if you let him. So have a great day. I hope you've got all your packs. They will be delivered today by the end of today if you haven't already got them. And I hope you enjoy doing your packs as well.